Live. What's up, everyone? It's your boy, The Business, coming back at you live for episode 47 of The Business. Let's be real. I'm going to go ahead and drop The Business's little intro mix because I forgot to do it at the beginning. All right, what's up, everyone? It's The Business. Let's be real. We're here for Super Bowl 57. I'm going to have Gavin on tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Super Bowl 57, mine and his thoughts on it, how we feel the game is going to go, who has the upsides in both coaches, quarterbacks, offense, defense. We're going to bring up the Kelsey Bowl to get it started. We're going to have some fun. We're just going to chat real quick, do our own little preview to the upcoming Super Bowl tonight, and hope that you guys enjoy it. With that being said, episode 47 begins now.
Hello.
What's up, Gavin? How you doing today?
Good.
Good, buddy. I'm glad you were able to come on with me today. We're gonna get started with our Super Bowl 57 preview. How you feel about tonight's game? You excited to see it?
Yes, I'm excited. Two number one seeds are matching up.
Yeah. No, it's about time. It's a good thing to see two of the teams with the two best records getting to go at it. You and I kind of watched this whole playoff leading to this game and kind of expected for that to possibly be the matchup, hoping that it was going to become the matchup that we were going to see. There are some other teams that you and I were looking at that we were kind of the Bengals, as I was just about to say, Cincinnati, we were looking at that was really going to be a good contender. They put on a good AFC championship matchup against
the 49ers got screwed.
Kansas City. 49ers had a tough game. Brock Purdy got hurt early. I guess if you want to talk a little bit about some of the predecessors to the Super Bowl, some of the playoffs, like you were talking about with San Francisco, with Cincinnati. What'd you think about those matchups and how those games went down?
I'll start with the San Francisco matchup. The San Francisco matchup, there was nothing that they could do. Sadly, Brock Purdy got injured, and they went to the fourth-string quarterback, and he got hurt too. And then you bring Brock Purdy back into the game, he can't throw a ball. So, I get that, but I don't know. That sucked for them, to be honest. Because they wanted to shot at the Eagles.
Yeah. No, it was tough.
And they didn't get it fair for themselves.
Yeah. And I think that would have been a way better game if it would have come to the point of Brock Purdy actually getting to play that full game the way we were all expecting to, because I think that would have been a great matchup. Philly has a great defense.
They have a great offense, yeah.
Yeah, but San Francisco has some weapons on offense that would have been a good matchup to see. And just kind of, I don't think they got their full shake on that, even though even Brock Purdy was their number 3 quarterback to start the season. And had a great run, though. What did he win, 6 or 7 games to finish the season off for them?
He went undefeated until the NFC Championship.
Yeah, but I think he won 6 in a row going into that.
And he got some ligament in his arm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the AFC Championship now.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for that guy that ran into Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. They showed him after the game, and he was just bawling, crying so bad.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough for him. I felt bad for him too, because I watched some plays that really he had been making the whole game, and for that one play to kind of define that game for him, I don't think it was a fair shake to him because he played his butt off that whole game, and for that big boy to be chasing down Patrick and just Patrick steps out and he steps out with him and his momentum takes him into him and
Yeah,
it was a late hit. I thought it was a late hit when I saw it live. So I thought the call was right. I don't think it was like it was a bad call. But like you said, it had to be tough to be that guy that day.
and like you can't just stop. Like a lot of people are like, why did he just stop? But like he couldn't stop. Like all his momentum was going forward, like you were saying.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a big boy. You can't just pull that up. You know what I mean? So easily, and it's tough. It's tough. It was tough to see that. I felt bad for him. I felt bad for Cincinnati as a whole because I thought that they were a really good team. Had a good matchup.
Oh, I was gonna say something about the Cowboys. Hey,
Yeah.
the Cowboys defense is amazing. I'm not gonna lie. The defense is good.
AP's like, come on, give me a shout out on the boys. They did have a good season too. You know what I'm saying? They superseded what even the fans were expecting for them to do. And yeah, they had a good defense, like you said.
Yeah, the defense is good.
And
I
their
like
offense,
Mike's defense.
their offense has some good weapons. I think if they can really put it together and make a good run, like is possible for them. I mean, I know a lot of people are down on Zeke, but I saw these crazy stats on Zeke and Terrell Davis, who used to be the running back for Denver
Oh
for
my
the
god.
Broncos.
Well, I'm not 100% sold on that. Like, maybe they could get a quarterback this offseason. I don't
Maybe,
know.
maybe, and that's what I'm saying. They got because they got some good receivers with CeeDee Lamb, and what I mean, like they
He
got.
Lamb.
Yeah, they got some weapons there. I just think it's going to take some time for them to really come together. And I don't know if Dak's the man either. I know he's got all the gifts. He's big, strong, fast, but sometimes he doesn't make the right decisions. And I don't know, like it's tough. So shout out to your Cowboys, AP. I appreciate you checking in with us. And yeah, I mean, like I said, if they can get it right. But like you said, it may be time to make that change at quarterback. So
Yeah, and you could get something for that.
yeah,
Like, you
and
could trade him to, like, a Miami or something like that.
that's true. That's true. All right, what you want to start talking about today's days? Like the big talk about for Super Bowl 57 is that it's called the Kelsey Bowl because you got Travis and Jason Kelsey. The two brothers are matching up. I mean, both on offense, so they're not matching up against each other. But their two teams are matching up. So tell me what you think about Jason and Travis.
I like both of them, to be honest. They're both really good. I mean, Jason's Jason's an amazing center and Travis is an amazing tight end. But this is bragging rights at the Thanksgiving table. So whoever wins this has bragging rights forever. You're muted, I think. Dad?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
you're
can't hear.
muted.
Sorry. I'm like, okay. Well, yeah, I was muted. I think that the brothers. I think it's a good matchup. I think both of them have the what you want to do with what they both provide for their teams. Jason is a great center. So, what I mean? He provides an anchor
Travis
for
is
that.
a great tight end.
Yeah, he's an anchor for that offense. Both of them are two anchors for that offense that make that offense tick. And it's nice to see that they both made it there. I know their mom, Mama Donna, is happy and excited to go to that game, and she's got her little double jersey that Travis had made for her. It has Travis, of course, in the front and Jason's in the back. But yeah, no, I think it's cool. I think it's great for the sport that the brothers were able to match up. I know they've been talking a lot about this funny script stuff with the NFL, and the NFL scripted sometimes. I don't know. I don't know about that. But
I don't
I
think
think,
it's scripted.
yeah, I think this is all in good fun. What they've been talking about and what they've been doing lately that has led to this Super Bowl matchup, especially with the fact that they have their
If
own
this was
podcast going.
scripted, then shouldn't the Bills be in the Super Bowl because they were the favorites, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's scripted. I'm just
Yeah, I
having
don't
fun.
think
I'm
so.
just having a little fun with it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kelsey Bowl. I'm excited for. Can't wait to see. Can't wait to see. Our first topic that I guess we're going to talk about are the coaches. It's Andy Reid, Nick Sirianni, our two coaches. I know Nick Sirianni's fairly new to Philly. But he's got them on the right track right away. Andy Reid is classic, and I know Andy has his own history in Philly, where he was able to take them deep and into Super Bowls. Wasn't able to bring one home for them, but had some good teams there, and really, really did a lot for both cities, both Philly and Kansas City. I think it's good to see Andy Reid back at this point. But yeah, I think Nick Sirianni is a great coach too. I mean, like I said, what he's been able to do with his team in such a short time, I mean, speaks volumes. So, what do you think, bud?
I feel like if Andy Reid wins his Super Bowl, I feel like he might be on the Bill Belichick level. I don't know. He only has two, but like Andy Reid, I don't know. Like he's had so many good teams, and it's just fitting. And then Nick Sirianni, he's good. We haven't heard much. I mean, he's a good coach. He led the Eagles to have the best record in the NFL. But I don't know. He's fairly new, like you said, and we haven't heard much about him. So
Yeah, no. I mean, I think that, like I said, he's tough. He's tough, though. He's got these boys, believing in themselves, and that's what's most important. He's got the confidence of his quarterback. He's got the confidence of his defense. All those guys that are around him believe in him and believe in what he's trying to do to help get them there. And yeah, I think it's a great matchup. I love both of these two coaches. Andy Reid is a classic favorite. Like, how do you not love Andy Reid?
Cheeseburger.
What'd you say?
You see what the Chiefs got him for his birthday? They got him a
Oh yeah,
cheeseburger.
cheeseburger. Yeah, he is. That's what they say. He talks about all the time. You talk about food with him. He talks about cheeseburgers all the time. So yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see that matchup of those two coaches going at it and see what they both can bring. Next, we're going to talk about the quarterback matchup. I know that you and I have been talking about this quarterback matchup for a long time. Super excited to see Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, two young African American gentlemen, in the first ever matchup between two African Americans going at it. And it's beautiful to see because it's great to see how the game has evolved, more so in the fact of having quarterbacks that can run and pass, and it's helped kind of revolutionize the game. Pocket passing is what it is. It's a great set for the game as well. And I'm not taking anything away from what pocket passers can do and what they're able to do for the game and what they've done for the game. But I think the new evolution of quarterback is more of this mobile quarterback. Yeah, this mobile quarterback that can move out of the pocket, that can run, that can get yardage. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Jalen and Patrick both get in there and do their thing. A little nervous to see who's going to be in better shape. I think, hopefully Patrick's a little bit better on the ankle. Jalen was injured earlier in the season, but he looks to be back just as strong as ever. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see that matchup. And I guess go ahead and tell me your thoughts of those two quarterbacks and what you'd like to see from them both.
I would like to see an amazing game. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game, but from both of them, they both can run outside the pocket, like you said, fast. Can run outside the pocket, can get yardage for their team when they need it, and they're just all around leaders. And like what you said about being the first African American quarterbacks, like that's good because like the evolution, like you were saying, from just pocket passing quarterbacks to now they can like run outside the pocket and do all that. And yeah, I feel like, and these are the two Super Bowl, not the MVP favorites going at it. So I feel like this is gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah, really excited to see them both lead their offenses into the ways that they can because they're both great. Um, yeah, and they both are such a huge role in the way the entire team projects itself. Mahomes, Kansas City is what Mahomes is. You know what I'm saying? They follow his lead, and I think what Jalen Hurts has been able to do in Philly is take this underdog and show that he is a big dog in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he wants to stop being known as the underdog. I think that's if Philly's
Because
able
he
to
was the
win this.
underdog in Alabama. Because Tua came in and took his job.
After he had won them a championship too. You know what I mean? He had won them a championship too. And he just, lost his job because that's what they felt like doing. And it was tough. And I don't know. I'm very partial towards Jalen because of the fact that I feel like he didn't get a fair shake in Philly or in Alabama. Had to transfer to Oklahoma, went there, led Oklahoma, you know what I'm saying, to a good season. And now is in Philly, and he still got that chip on his shoulder and is able to help lead Philly with that chip on his shoulder. He's got that Philly chip. Like Philadelphia is like Cleveland and these other places that they haven't had too many championships. They just won their most recent one a few years ago, but before that, it was you know what I mean, a wow. And those Philly
And
people are good, hard fans. Like they love their teams, and so it's nice to see them
I
get a
heard
shot too.
Philly fans are a lot.
What's that?
I heard Philly fans are a lot.
Yeah, they are.
Not
That's
from
okay.
Katie.
Yeah,
But she's a
that's it.
Giants fan,
She's a
so.
Giants fan. Yeah, that's tough. Of course, Philly fans are tough to Giants fans, but hey,
And
it is what
Cowboys
it
fans.
is. Yeah. But yeah, no, excited to see the two quarterbacks go at it. Really going to be watching that closely because I know that both of them are going to give it all they got. All right, next we're going to be talking about the offenses. I know, we've brought up the quarterback and we've brought up one of the Kelsey brothers for Kansas City. Kansas City has they use multiple running backs in their faction. They have some good receivers. Do you want to talk? Let's first talk, I guess, about Kansas City and what you think of that Kansas City offense and some of the things that they're going to do to help themselves win this game.
They're gonna help themselves. Like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey are just they have to find each other. They have to pass to each other a lot. And then they have Isaiah Pacheco in the backfield. They need to give him the ball some. And but the wide receiver core is not that good. I mean, they have Sky Moore, Isaiah Pacheco, because he can be a wide receiver. I don't know. They don't have that
Juju,
strong.
they got Juju.
They got Juju, but I don't know how healthy Juju is.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Juju so much anymore. I think he's past his prime kind of time. Like
Yeah.
he's still a good receiver. Don't get me wrong, but I think Kansas City needs to add some more weapons, definitely at the receiver position. And their running back core, I mean, is okay. Like you said, Pacheco's good. That McKinnon kid's good, I
He did
think.
have Clydeside with Saleo, but then what happened to him? He got hurt.
I don't know what happened to him. He might have got hurt. I thought he got traded. No, they didn't trade him. He must have got hurt earlier in the season. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I think their offense has to revolve around Patrick, the running game, trying to get the ball to Kelsey as much as possible, and still working the receivers. He's gonna have to facilitate the ball to a little bit of everybody in order to make it be worth what it is that he's hoping he can get out of that offense and try to put up some points. Because, everybody's hoping for a big point game, but last week's or 2 weeks ago's matchup in the AFC Championship wasn't a big high scoring game. And Cincinnati had a pretty good high scoring offense, and you know that. Kansas City's defense was able to stymie that and kind of slow that down a little bit. But, we'll talk about defenses here in a little bit. And, but yeah, I don't know. Kansas City scares me a little bit on their offensive weapons. So let's talk about Philly now and Philly's weapons. Of course, it revolves around Jalen and the running game.
But their offense is loaded. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, like their wide receiver is loaded. They have an okay tight end.
Yeah.
Like they have Miles Sanders in the backfield.
Yeah. Their receiving core is way better than Kansas City's receiving core. And that's what is big for Jalen. And like you said, they got good receivers. They got a good tight end. They're going to be moving the ball. Kansas City's defense is good, though. So it's going to be fun to watch that matchup. That's going to be the matchup to watch, is more of the Eagles offense versus that Kansas City defense. Because if not, it's going to be a long game for Kansas City, and their offense is going to be probably sitting on the sidelines most of the game. And if that's the case, if you can keep Patrick off of the field, that's how you beat Kansas City.
That's how you beat Kansas City. If you keep Patrick off the field.
Mm-hmm. And that's the truth. So, but yeah, that's what our thoughts on the offenses. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna move on to defense. I know you're kind of more keen on Philly's defense, but I thought Kansas City's defense really showed up in the AFC Championship game and was able to shut Joe Burrow down and that Cincinnati offense down, who not too many teams have been able to do that, and Kansas City's defense was able to do that. Tell me your thoughts, I guess, on Kansas City's defense and what you thought about that AFC Championship game, and what makes you think that if they're going to be able to do that with this Philly team.
I don't know. I mean, this Philly team's loaded. Like that Bengals team was loaded too, but like this Philly team is something else. And I don't know. I don't know much defensive players on Kansas City, so I couldn't tell you. But I feel like the offense might get the better of Kansas City defense tonight. But I feel like Kansas City offense might get the better of Philly's defense, but maybe not, because Philly's defense is good. I know a lot more about Philly's defense than I do about Kansas City defense. So you're muted again, I think.
Yeah. So Gia's trying to get on here and say hi to us. She's saying hi, Bushy. Hi, Gavin.
Yes, I can't really see my camera anymore.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah. Hi, Gia. I love you. Yeah, I think it's going to be great matchups. Like you said, they're both offenses are very high powered. It's going to be great matches up against their defenses. like I said, Kansas City's defensive backfield though is super tough. I think it's going to be fun to watch that matchup with the high-powered offense and receivers that Philly has. If Kansas City is going to be able to keep up with that, because that's going to be where you decide like you and I've been talking about, like if you're able to keep Patrick off the field. You know what I'm saying? If you can stretch out some drives, if Philly's able to stretch out some drives against his defense, and make something happen and kind of make the game worth it, and try to get Patrick on the field as much as possible so that they can move on and try to win the games.
You want to talk about Philly's defense now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, talk about Philly's defense.
Philly's defense is really good. They got Fletcher Cox. They signed this cornerback named, his last name is Gardner the third. He's tied for most interceptions this season, which is really good. I don't know how many, to be honest. Um,
It's got to be
but
a fair amount. It's got to be a fair amount though.
yeah, if it's the most tied for the most, it has to be pretty much. And I don't know, the defense is really good. I don't know if Kansas City can get past it. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is an MVP, but there's never been an MVP to win a Super Bowl. Like that, when they made it to the stage, they've never won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's probably true. I don't know. I don't know. You look into those things more than I do, as far as like those stats, as far as like the fact side of it. Like, oh well,
Yeah,
and
yeah. There's been six since like 1984, 86, and none of them have won the Super Bowl.
wow, that's crazy.
So yeah,
And
I
that's
think like
yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to Philly's defense as well. I think Philly has a very good all around team. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna bring. What kind of rush they're going to bring on Patrick, because they know that Patrick can't move very well. He might be able to move early in the game, but they know if they can get to him and put some hits on him, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to be in trouble because once he starts hobbling around, yeah, he can make some plays while he does that, because that he's been doing that. You know what I mean? His whole career. Yeah, it's like that's Patrick, and like it's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be fun to watch because, yeah, Philly's defense is good too. I think Kansas City's defense is underrated. Like I said to you when we were watching that Cincinnati game, I said, "Wow!" I said this defense is so underrated. I said you would never think that they would be able to do what they were doing in that game. And but yeah, no, it was fun to watch the Philly game, and that's what I was saying about them bringing the pressure on Patrick. That's what they did to Brock. They were bringing the pressure on Brock early. Were able to get to him, pop the arm on a slap and kind of tweaked his elbow, and that was it for Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. That arm was out, and he wasn't the same after that. So the defenses are going to be a bigger part of this game than what a bigger part of this game than what they're being given credit for. So it's going to be fun to watch. I know
I
everybody
think whoever defense, you know, can
yeah,
come out tonight and does better is going to win this game,
yeah.
not the
Like,
offense.
I mean, and that's like, the cliche: offense wins games,
Games
de-
defense wins championship.
championships. So, all right, buddy. Let's go to the pros and cons time of the night. Let's talk about what your ups and downs for both teams are. What you think is going to be the big part in making them succeed, and some of the downfalls which may make them not succeed tonight.
All right, I'm gonna start with Kansas City.
Okay.
Pro, you have Patrick Mahomes, the best player in the NFL right now, but the con is he's not 100%. Like rolled his ankle. What did he do? I
He had a
forgot.
guy land on the ankle, and the ankle went like
Yeah.
sideways. Like,
And then for Kansas City, I don't know. Yeah, that ankle injury might come down to the game. And then another pro, Travis Kelsey. Travis Kelsey's the best tight end in the game for sure. But the con is the wide receiver core. The wide receiver core sucks. They got okay wide receivers, but they're not that good. Pro slash con. The defense is like underrated. That's a pro. Like like you were saying, the defense is really underrated, and they might come out and they might put pressure on Jalen Hurts and AJ and Devontae. But yeah, that's my pros and cons for the Chiefs.
okay. Um, I guess let me do my pros and cons first for Kansas City, just to break it up for you a little bit. Pros, definitely the offense. Offense has to be moving. Everything, like you and I've said, everything moves behind Patrick and how he is able to facilitate the ball. Even though he, like you said, he doesn't have the best core of receivers, he still finds a way to get all these guys included into the game. And they continue to move the ball. They don't rely on him having to do too much running on his own, knowing the fact that you got to preserve this guy a little bit. Like the more you get him out there and you get him hit, you're shortening his career, and that's shortening your championship times by shortening Patrick Mahomes' career. You know what I mean? Like right now,
And,
like
like me and you were talking about earlier today, he is the most physically gifted quarterback ever, probably in the NFL.
mm-hmm.
But the thing is how he plays. He won't play for until he's 35. He might play.
Well, and that's the thing is like he's set up for not having a very long career because of the way he plays, because of how hard he plays, and that happens, and that's just the way it is. But it's like that. That's just part of the game. But you can save him, you know what I mean, by protecting him and not letting him take those shots so much. To kind of elongate your guys' dynasty, because I know that's what Kansas City's trying to build, and you know that too. They're trying to build that dynasty that so
Like
where
that Cowboys dynasty in the 90s.
and the 49ers dynasty and what the Patriots were just able to do there for a
Yeah.
while, and I mean that's what you want to kind of try to do, and yeah, so by protecting him is huge. He's definitely the biggest pro because, like you said, he is the MVP. Right now, he is the greatest player on the planet in football. Having somebody like Kelsey to
Does
to
help you.
to give the ball to and help him out is huge. The defense, I think, is underrated, like you and I both said. Their defensive backfield, I think, is going to be a better matchup than what we're all expecting. Those of you who haven't had a chance to really watch Kansas City and focus on what Kansas City brings to the table, watch the matchups of these defensive backs tonight against Philly's receivers, because that's going to be the matchup. That's going to be the matchup to watch tonight. If there's anything you focus on throughout this entire game, it's going to be the matchup of Kansas City's defensive backs versus Philly's receivers. And I think that, what I mean, their cons is the receiving core. You know that these guys they're not big play guys. They're not big play guys.
It's
You know,
Travis
it's
Kelsey.
yeah, it's like you gotta move it down the field. You gotta make something happen, and that's how you're gonna win the championship if you're able to do so. But yeah, that's me. That's me on Kansas City pros cons. let's go to Philly. Talk about Philly. Tell me your thoughts on Philly.
The pros about Philly. Pro, you got Jalen Hurts, the runner-up for the MVP. That makes a bigger chip on his shoulder. Like, I'm not your MVP. All right. Like, let me go prove it to you in the Super Bowl. All right. Pro, the wide receiver core is amazing. Unlike Kansas City, they got amazing wide receivers. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Shoot, I'm forgetting the name. There's a couple more guys in there, but my mind went blank there. Pros, great offensive line.
Anchored by the
Pro,
big fella.
yeah, pro. Okay running back. I guess that's a con for the okay running back. Um, pro cornerbacks, and then pro for the defensive line. Like, I don't have any cons on this team. This team is loaded.
but you're gonna be so funny because you're talking about this Philly team like they're damn near perfect, and I know you, and you're still gonna pick Patrick when it's time for us to pick. So I'm like, hold on, let me talk about pros and cons with them too, because that's my thought to it. Is like, they've got a good quarterback. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. They've got a good offensive line. They've got great receivers. Like, their one con may be their running game. Their one con may be the running game. And that's the truth. And you know that. I know that. But that may be their con that might hurt them, is that if they have to continuously throw the ball because they can't get yardage running, if they can't get 3-4 yards every down when they do run the ball, they're in trouble, because they don't want to just constantly throw the ball up in the air. And you know that, because that Kansas City defense will sit back on their haunches. They will send the dogs after Jalen, and you know what I'm saying? And they will force him to just throw ducks up, and they will be there to take them down. And I'm telling you, that's going to be the con, is if that running game isn't pulling at least 3 to 4 yards every down, they're going to be in trouble. And you know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how Philly loses. Is if Philly's running game doesn't get anything and he has to go strictly pass, I don't think Philly wins. That's the only way that Philly doesn't win this game. Because Kansas City's offense is weak. There's a lot of cons. The receivers, the running game is a mismatched running game. Kelsey's hurt. Not Kelsey, but Mahomes is hurt. Kelsey's, you can double down a tight end. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean? As big as that dude is and as nasty as he is, you can cut that tight end out of the game if that's their only true, real, healthy weapon. Like, so I think it's going to be a tough matchup for Kansas City. But yeah, my pros and cons for Philly is lots of weapons, good defense, running game is suspect. That's where it's going to be for Philly as far as like my pros and cons. All right. We're at that point now. This is, where you get to decide. G, I'm going to let you go first and call out who wins Super Bowl 57.
All right. Not going to lie. I want Kansas City to win, but they're not going to win. The score is going to be 42-38. Eagles win.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because when you and I were talking earlier, you were like, Kansas City got to win. Patrick Mahomes is him. And I was like, no.
I don't know. Now since we're talking about it.
But I knew I was going to start to sway you towards that Philly side, because I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, Philly's got all these weapons. Philly's got a good defense.
I'm just saying, if Patrick Mahomes is on this game and they don't double down Travis Kelce, they have a chance of winning. But if they're doing what you're saying,
yeah,
Philly is winning.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough matchup. I think it's going to be a great game to watch. Like I said, the factors for both sides is if Philly's running game can get established, if they can establish that running game and not put all the burden on the receivers, even though they have a great core of receivers, Philly wins the game.
Jalen Hurts is rising that Lombardi trophy.
Yeah, yeah. With still that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Even though he's going to be the world champion, he's going to still have that chip on his shoulder. And that may push that kid to go on to win a couple.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like that's what you want to see is those guys that are able to be the underdog, and even win the championship. And I'm going to tell you what, the betting line will come out tomorrow. And Philly probably won't be the suspected world champions next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me guess. It's going to be Buffalo again.
It's going to be Buffalo again. That's exactly who it's going to be. It'll be Buffalo again, unless Stephon Diggs doesn't sign in the offseason. But then again, they may go for a whole new core of receivers because Stephon's starting to get to that age. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a great receiver still, but they may be looking to get some new young receivers, some new, fresh, young talent. And you know what I mean? So, I think...
I hope it's not Buffalo again.
I'd like to see a great matchup. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't know if it'll get 42-38. That seems like a lot on those two defenses.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I think Philly's going to pull it out. You know what I mean? And I like Patrick. I like Travis. But I also respect what Philly's bringing to the table. Love Andy Reid. You know, I love all the things about Kansas City. I just don't love that team right now. Like, that team right now just doesn't seem like they should match up fairly against this Philly team. So it's going to be tough. I think Philly wins the championship. If you want me to call a score out, I guess I'll say 38-28. Philly. Okay. So, yeah. I appreciate you, Bubba, for coming on. You know, that was us doing our thing.
I'm wearing the GOAT's jersey.
The GOAT.
Sadly, he retired.
Yeah. If you want to say anything else, I know you want to give your little outro before you go. I'm going to kick you off. I do my little outro, and then let's go get to work. Let's start eating, Bubba. Let's get ready to watch this game.
I'm still cheering for the Chiefs. But I think Philly's going to win.
I know you are. I know you're still cheering for Patrick. I know Patrick's your boy.
Until next time, you've been Gavin and I. Go Chiefs!
All right, buddy. Yeah. I love you, kid. Yeah. So that was our thoughts on Super Bowl 57. Really appreciate you guys for coming in, checking us out. All of those that were able to come in, some that commented, those of you that liked what it was that we were doing on here today. Appreciate you. You know I don't give the shows the way I hope to, but I do like to still come on, drop them for you guys, talk a little bit about some topics that are coming up. We are still planning on doing more of the topics that we need to get onto so that we can continue to talk to y'all. You know, I think Gavin and I are going to do some more shows where we come on and ramble about different sports topics that are going on. We know baseball season's getting ready to start. Us living in Florida gives us lots of opportunities to go to all these different parks out here while these guys are going through spring training. And, we're excited about that coming up. NBA just made a lot of trades. We didn't talk about that too much tonight because we were focusing on the Super Bowl and giving the Super Bowl its justification on what it is for today. And, we're excited for what always is coming up. with the kids so they can come on and tell you a little bit about their lives, what they're doing as well. And then, looking like I told you before, to get back with some previous guests, some new guests, have them come on, talk to them a little bit about their lives, their companies, what it is that they're doing, and shed some light on that too, and kind of help them try to help their business while they help me with the podcast and what it is that we're trying to do here. So, with that being said, Super Bowl 57 was the topic of the show for tonight. Appreciate you all. The business, let's be real. Episode 47, over, out.